The US Supreme Court has banned universities from using race as a factor for university admissions. Now, this marks the start of a new era in higher education, as it is a major blow to decades-old practice that boosted opportunities for African Americans and other minorities in the US.
Now, the justice voted 6-3 along ideological lines that came after years of conservative antipathy to affirmative action policies that have sought diversity in school admissions and business and government hiring as well.
The court said that universities were free to consider an individual applicant's personal experience, whether, for example, they grew up experiencing racism, in weighing their application over applicants more academically qualified. But deciding primarily based on whether the applicant is colored or not is in itself a racial discrimination.
Following the Supreme Court's ruling, President Joe Biden has strongly disagreed with this ruling. Biden says the ruling has walked away from decades of precedents here, and further adding that universities should not abandon their commitment to create diverse student bodies.
Discrimination still exists in America. Discrimination still exists in America. Discrimination still exists in America. Today's decision does not change that. It's a simple fact. If a student had to overcome adversity on their path to education, the college should recognize and value that.
Asked by reporters if Thursday's decision by the conservative-dominated panel, which also voted last year to overturn a nationwide right to abortion, showed it was a rogue court, Biden took a lengthy pause before finally saying that this is not a normal court.
Meanwhile, it was not just the president who has put forward his thoughts following the ruling. Lawmakers, legal experts, presidential candidates, past and present, and others are also reacting to it.
The Obamas condemned the decision taken by the top court. Former First Lady Michelle Obama wrote about her own experience as one of the few black students in her college campus.
In a statement, she said, I'm quoting here, "Today, my heart breaks for any young person out there who's wondering what their future holds and what kinds of chances will be open to them."
Former President Barack Obama, in a shorter statement, said, like any policy, affirmative action wasn't perfect, but it allowed generations of students like Michelle and me to prove we belonged.
Meanwhile, the other former president, Donald Trump, has hailed the decision. Trump said that it was a great day for America. He believes people with extraordinary ability and everything else that are necessary for success are finally being awarded.
Former Vice President Mike Pence, who is running against Trump in the GOP presidential primary, issued his own statement praising the ruling. He said there is no place for discrimination based on race in the United States.
And for more on this, we earlier also spoke with our correspondent Susan Tehrani. We asked her, where does the public opinion stand on this issue? Listen in.
Although the ruling is a reversal of 50 years of precedent, the decision may actually be popular among the American public. A New York Times poll designed to capture public opinion on major decisions of the Supreme Court found that the majority of Americans agree that public and private universities should not use race as a factor in college admission. However, the way these questions are asked is also noteworthy. For example, the majority of Americans agree with the goals affirmative action hopes to achieve, like having more diverse universities and colleges. However, they don't think minority groups should be given, quote unquote, special preferences. It's important to note that states like Washington, Nebraska, even California, which is a very liberal state, has banned affirmative action for years.
We also asked her if this is a blanket ban now.
Justice Roberts wrote, however well-intentioned the policies at UNC and Harvard might have been, the universities failed to use them within the confines of the narrow restrictions that previous court rulings had approved. Roberts also wrote that schools and universities could still consider an applicant's discussion on how race has affected their lives, be it through discrimination, inspiration, or otherwise, but not, he wrote, through a specific application essay or other means. So basically, what they are trying to prevent is just checking a box to fill a quota and give preferential treatment based on race.